Have you ever wondered what it looked like if Apple made a guitar?
I am so excited and I am so proud to share it with you this morning, and here it is.
No, Apple isn't entering the guitar industry, so I do apologize if you thought that was real. However, if you were to see this guitar up on a tech product keynote presentation, I don't think it would look out of place. Hey guys, my name's Dave from Guitar Zero to Hero, and in this video, I'll be giving you a demo and overview of the new HILAVA Me 3 acoustic carbon fiber guitar that has inbuilt effects and an inbuilt looper. Now, this is definitely one of the more interesting guitars I've had the chance to play. Putting aside, the very unique look and form factor and bold design, the thing that will grab your attention almost immediately is the fact that this guitar has a 3.5-inch touchscreen called the HILAVA system that says goodbye to traditional mechanical knobs. And as far as I'm aware, this is the first guitar to attempt something like this, and it certainly blurs the lines between a musical instrument and a tech product. So much so that I feel like this is almost more of a smart device than it is a guitar. So having said that, I think this is a guitar that will divide opinions. I think there'll be a lot of people out there who will love the tech innovations of this guitar and who will really benefit from the features, but there will definitely be a lot of people out there who will struggle to connect with this particular product. So let me run you through the features. I'll give you a demo of how it sounds. I'll compare it to the HILAVA Me 2, which is their previous model. And I'll also talk about some of the accessories that you can get with this guitar. And finally, I'll talk about my thoughts and who this guitar might be for. Now, because the software is such a massive part of this product and how it actually works, what I demonstrate in this video could be wildly different in 1 year's time. And I imagine there will be a lot of improvements and upgrades to come, so I just thought I'd point that out. So first of all, I'll talk about the guitar as a standalone instrument. The HILAVA Me 3 comes in 6 colors and 2 different sizes. There's the 36-inch model, which shares the same form factor as their previous HILAVA Me 2. So this is slightly smaller than this, and the 38-inch model. And that's the new size in HILAVA's guitar range, and it has slightly larger proportions in all directions. Now, side by side with my Martin D Jr., the 38-inch is very similar in size. So despite being the bigger model of the 2 available options, it still feels like a smaller bodied guitar on the lap, and it can be classified as a travel guitar. The guitar is equipped with Elixir coated strings, and it's set up with a Plek machine to ensure optimal setup. Now, personally, I thought the guitar's playability and action was good and was pretty much what I'm used to, although I know some people out there might want something maybe a bit lower. The guitar itself is built from carbon fiber from head to toe, so it features a really nice matte finish and the neck is quite comfortable. Now, carbon fiber has its pros and cons. The benefit is that it has great resistance to weather changes and resistance to warping and cracking. The trade-off though is that this guitar has a more unique tone that doesn't sound quite as natural as a traditional wooden guitar. And this definitely is most prominent when plugged into a PA or an amp. Having said that, at times I really quite like it and other times I don't. So I guess it's dependent on personal preference, but also what style you're playing as well. But I certainly prefer playing this guitar acoustically rather than plugged in. So let me demonstrate how the guitar sounds without any electronics turned on. So that's the HILAVA Me 3 as a standalone instrument with no electronics. But now let's get stuck into the tech side of the guitar and what it has to offer in terms of inbuilt effects and smart features. Now, I do want to mention that in order to activate this device and to get the electronics working, you'll need a smartphone and Wi-Fi to do so. So this is where it really starts to feel more like a smart device rather than an instrument. If you don't have a smartphone, then you won't be able to get these features up and running. I think the big reason why they've done this is because through the app, they're really focusing on building a community and a platform for guitarists to share and connect with one another. And I'll talk about that a little bit later when we get to the looper. Now, I do think it would have been nice though to be able to use this guitar and all its features without an account or smartphone. Who knows though, maybe they might change this in the future. As far as physical controls go, within the sound hole below the main unit, you'll find the power button and the master control volume wheel. The HILAVA system has an inbuilt 32 gigs of storage for your recordings. And in terms of battery life, I got about 4 hours of play off a single charge, which roughly equates to a little bit under 2 weeks of playing 20 minutes a day. So once you've activated the guitar, navigating HILAVA is much like navigating any smartphone. On the touchscreen, we have this home page here, and you can swipe to navigate through the different apps on the device. So we've got an inbuilt tuner here, and it works pretty much as you'd expect. And that in-tune sound is quite satisfying. Next up is the metronome, which is pretty self-explanatory. You can tap it to start. You can slide the tempo, tap it to stop, and there's also settings, so you can change your subdivisions, time signatures, and also the click sound. Next up is the recorder. So if you've got an idea that you want to lay down, just tap record and play something. And then you can listen to it back. You can save it to your recordings, or you can delete it. Next up is the effects app, which is a really cool feature of the guitar. If you guys are familiar with the Lava Me 2, you'll know that that guitar was equipped with what they call the free boost system, where the guitar has inbuilt reverb, delay, and chorus with no external pedals, much like the Tonewood amp. So if I was to play right now, you can hear those effects being added to the raw acoustic sound. The Lava Me 3 has the same free boost technology, but this time with a much bigger array of effects. In the effects page, you'll find all the available pre-made FX chains. If you like any of them, then you can just add them to your templates. Once the patch is in the templates page, you can fine tune it by tapping the settings button, and then you can just fine tune any of the available settings. So let's take a listen to some of the pre-made effects. Now, I think one of the biggest downsides to this current software version is that you can't create your own FX chains. So let's say I want to create my own patch that had reverb and chorus. I currently can't do that. I have to find one of their pre-made FX chains that might have those two effects and then tweak that. And at this stage, it takes a little bit of fiddling around. In this particular patch is a flanger and reverb. So I can tweak those if I want to, but I can't create my own chains. All I would want is a good reverb, a good delay, a good chorus, maybe an octave pedal, and an easy way to toggle them on or off. Next is the practice app. There's 5 different practice modes here, so let's run through them. The first one is chord transition. So pick 2 chords and then you can tap start, and I'll just ask you to play those chords and to transition back and forth between each one. Now, I did find that you could actually trick the guitar. If you just play the bass note, it will think that you hit the right chord. So it's not perfect, but still a great tool for those beginners out there who are working on their chord changes. The next practice mode is strumming. So in strumming, you can just pick a strumming pattern, select a tempo, and strum along. So that's a cool app to just practice your rhythm. The next one is scale training. So in scale training, you can pick a scale and then you can select the part of the fretboard that you want to practice it in, press start, and it'll give you a metronome where you can play along. So that's pretty cool, and it will auto detect the note you're playing and highlight it on that scale map. The next practice mode is ear training, which I think is really, really handy. And I've been using this a little bit. So let's just go the easy mode.
Listen to the reference. Listen to the question note. Play the note.
So a really cool tool for ear training and learning intervals. And of course you can make things harder, and you can even customize your own exercise. So you can add whatever notes you want. You can adjust how many octaves you want. So you can make it as complex or as simple as you like. And then the final practice mode is single note. In this mode, you'll select a metronome BPM, you'll press start, and then you'll play for 2 minutes. So you have to play for a minimum of 2 minutes, and at the end of that, it'll spit out a report for you. So it'll tell you whether you are on time with all your notes, whether you are playing lots of ascending notes or descending notes. I'm not too sure how it's calculating all of this, but it is an interesting tool to see how your timing is. The next section is the loops app, and this is where I think players will really benefit creatively and will spend a lot of time. So if you go in, you'll see a big list of all these drum tracks that you can select. So let's pick one. Let's use that for our loop. You can select a BPM or the amount of bars that you want the loop to go for. So let's record. Now you can record up to 3 overdubs. So each of these circles is a different track. The middle one is the drum track, and you can adjust the volume. That outer circle is the one that I was just recorded, and then you can record 2 extra tracks on top of that. But you can press play and then just start soloing on top. And once you're done, if you're happy with your loop, you can tap done and have it posted to the Lava Plus app. Now the Lava Plus app is a bit like a social media network where any Lava Me 3 owner can post videos of their playing or their loops, which is pretty cool. So that's what they're really trying to achieve here, is to build a big community of guitar players who are sharing their music. Let's try creating one more loop. Now here in styles, you'll see a whole wide range of different genres. You can pick a loop. Let's give this one a go. let me change my tone. Let's add something on top. So that's the loops feature. On the next page, we have music and pictures. So this is where your recordings are all stored. We have the updates app. So that's where we can get our software updates, and then settings. Now in settings, you can actually see playing statistics, which is a bit like screen time on the iPhone. So you can see exactly how long you've spent playing guitar each day. And this is really, really great, as I think this is going to keep a lot of people accountable. So you can ensure that you're playing every single day, and that's the best way to improve on guitar. So you can tap on the individual days and it'll show you how long you played that particular day. Now when you push the power button, you can sleep the screen, and if you push it again, you'll go to this widget page where you have quick access to the metronome or the effects templates you have. Or the tuner, which is pretty cool. And then if you want to go to the home screen, just swipe up and then you'll see all your apps. So that's the HILAVA system. And as I've mentioned previously, I'm looking forward to seeing the future updates and improvements that they can bring to this system. As it is software based, they can always add new features to improve the functionality of the guitar. For example, at the current time, you can't stream music via Bluetooth to the guitar from your phone. But I have been told that this is a feature they'll be looking to implement in the future, because there is Bluetooth capability on this unit. They just haven't created that functionality in the software yet. Now, like all software and initial releases, it's not without its bugs or glitches. I did come across a few and they occur from time to time. So if you do come across that, sometimes you just need to restart the HILAVA system. So this is just one of those things to consider if you're interested in picking up this guitar. Okay, so how does the Lava Me 3 compare to the Lava Me 2? Now, first off, the Lava Me 2 only comes in one size, which is 36 inches. Whereas the Lava Me 3 comes in two sizes, the 36 inch and the 38 inch that I have here. The Lava Me 2 has no touchscreen or HILAVA system, so no smart features like a looper or metronome, and only comes with inbuilt reverb, delay, and chorus. So from a purely acoustic point of view, they more or less sound very similar to my ear in terms of tone, because they're both made from the same carbon fiber. But because I've got the 38 inch here, it probably sounds a little bit thicker and louder than the Lava Me 2. Now in terms of pricing, the Lava Me 2 is $799 US, and the Lava Me 3 starts at $999 US. Alright, so now let's talk about some of the accessories available for the Lava Me 3. Now, it's not a smart device unless it has a dock, right? So Lava Me have created what they call the space dock, which works as your guitar stand. But the cool thing is that this will also charge your Lava Me 3 battery whilst docked. So it's actually pretty functional. But of course, you don't need the dock. You can just use the included USB-C cable to charge your device down here. They also have a specially designed strap with a clever clip-on mechanism, which is pretty cool. Now, these are all optional extras and don't actually come with the guitar. So here are my thoughts if you're considering a carbon fiber acoustic travel guitar like the Lava Me 3. As a guitar by itself, it ticks all the boxes and does a good job. Of course, because it's made from carbon fiber, you're not getting that natural wooden tone, and this is most apparent when you have this guitar plugged into a PA. Now the effects sound quite artificial and a little bit digital, but playability is great and smaller travel guitars like this are always such fun couch strummers. I personally have been using the Lava Me 2 as my bedside guitar now for a couple of years. I just really enjoy that relaxing reverb just before bed. Finger picking sounds really nice. Now, the inclusion of the touchscreen HILAVA system into the Lava Me 3 guitar is a really unique selling point, and it's something that does encourage creativity, practice, and improvement as a player. I particularly love the looper feature as well as the ear training practice exercises. This is the first release though, so I feel like there's a lot they will improve on when it comes to the software. For instance, on my particular guitar, I felt like the looper volume levels were hard to balance correctly, and it took a bit of fiddling around to get right. I also would have loved to see an easier way to create your own effects chains without having to use the pre-made ones and tweak those. Due to the similarities between the HILAVA system and a smart device like a tablet or phone, I feel like this guitar would be suited to those who are more tech savvy or those who have an interest in technology in general, as it does take some exploring to get the most out of the system. And those who are into tech will probably have more of that curiosity and patience for getting stuck into these extra features. If you're a technophobe and you hate touchscreens and technology in general, then this isn't the guitar for you. If you'd rather something that you can just pick up and start playing right away with inbuilt effects, then I'd probably suggest the Lava Me 2 over the Lava Me 3, which is much more intuitive for the average user to just pick up and start having fun. Having said that, the potential and possibilities of the Lava Me 3 are enormous, and I'm really interested to see what they'll add to the HILAVA system in the future. Personally, I really enjoy tech and tech gadgets, so this is a guitar that interests me, but I know that there's going to be a lot of people out there who might not like this system, who won't be able to use it to its full potential. So that's just something to keep in mind. I hope you guys have enjoyed this demo and brief review. If you have any questions about this HILAVA system, then please leave them in the comments below. I'll leave all the relevant links to this guitar in the description below as well. Thanks, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.